Right, welcome back. You're still watching Your Story, and we continue with that news that's just broken. We found out a short while ago that former Speaker Mbete and former Home Affairs, Finance Minister and Public Enterprises Minister Gigaba has withdrawn his name from the list of MPs going to Parliament alongside Mbete. Let's get a little bit more on that with our reporter Bulelani Philip in our studios in Parliament. Bulelani, thanks very much indeed for joining us. So I spoke to an analyst a short while ago, and he said that partly surprising, but maybe not so much.
Well, Peter, we've seen this thing in the past when there were cabinet reshuffles. The elderly members of parliament within the ruling party tend to actually exit parliament because perhaps maybe they don't want to be backbenchers, or on the other hand, they probably just want to have a free retirement by taking their packages. But of course, in this instance, I think in the instance of the former Speaker, Ms. Mbete, maybe for her not to have been nominated for re-election in the Speaker's position, she saw that perhaps maybe as a demotion for her. And again, there is this tension or anxiety around possible people who will be appointed in a reduced cabinet. Perhaps maybe she saw that maybe she may not make it as well there, and maybe it's time for her now to actually perhaps maybe take some retirement. In the case of Ms. Gigaba, I guess there has been a lot of public outcry around his conduct, and perhaps maybe in this particular instance, he felt that he wanted to live a peaceful life away from the public eye, given that when at the height of the public outcry, he actually felt the pressure and actually bowed out from cabinet as well as the National Assembly. So I'm not surprised at all, Peter. Again, maybe over the weekend, after the president has announced his cabinet, I wouldn't be surprised that those who have been left out of cabinet may actually take the same route.
All right, so Gigaba, I guess one of the names that people were waiting to see just exactly what the future laid for him. Do you think that this perhaps might be giving us a clue about this cabinet that's probably taking shape in the president's head right now, and that maybe he's already started to approach certain people or perhaps indicated to certain people that they might not be in that final list? And might we see some more withdrawals from that ANC MP list?
Well, Peter, it's difficult at this stage to actually get a sense of how far is the process, if there has been a process of consultation by the president. Again, whether he has actually completed the reconfiguration of these government departments, which would lead to the appointment of cabinet ministers to lead those departments. I would suspect that if he has not completed those, he is probably in the final stages of completing that cabinet. And I'm sure only people who are in his inner circle are the ones who are seeing this particular cabinet taking shape. Of course, when he was going around here in Parliament earlier today after the ANC caucus meeting, we did ask him around this issue, how far he is. The only thing that he could tell us was that he's preparing to appoint competent people, of course, also considering the issue of the geographical spread amongst the ANC members. They must be representative of all the provinces in the country. Again, using his famous phrase that watch the space. But of course, at this stage, I wouldn't be able to say for certain how far he is with the finalization of the cabinet and how many departments perhaps maybe is looking into having in the reduced government structure.
All right, and then perhaps finally, once again, Baleka Mbete, as you said, perhaps eyeing retirement. I mean, she had given us a hint some time ago already that she wasn't going to be returning to Parliament as a Speaker, perhaps not talking overtly about being an MP, but certainly the job of Speaker. So maybe she gave us a clue a long time ago already that this was likely what she was going to do.
Well, Peter, I mean, she has not been forthcoming really about her future in the last days of the fifth parliament, the last parliament. And again, her future really, the way I read it is that it had to depend on her positioning in the ANC list. She's quite further down compared when you look to people like Thandi Modise, who will be nominated as the Speaker tomorrow. And again, the processes, the internal processes of the ANC may have taken shape of going for a person who's probably got much more support within the ANC structures rather than her, who's further down on the party list. But of course, in the end, I thought maybe her decision might be largely based on the fact that for any other position that she may be taking up after, getting, not being re-elected into the Speaker's position, maybe a demotion in her eyes.
All right, Bulelani, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much indeed. That's our reporter in Parliament, Bulelani Philip, giving us his thoughts on the development that's just played out. A short while ago, we're hearing that Baleka Mbete, the former Speaker of Parliament, and Malusi Gigaba have withdrawn their names as MPs. In fact, I'm going back in time now. In July 2018, Baleka Mbete told us at that point already that she wasn't going to be in the National Assembly after the 2019 elections. So she gave us fair warning almost a year ago that she wouldn't be returning. So perhaps not so much of a surprise there. And Malusi Gigaba, has he done the right thing by his party? Is he avoiding controversy? We'll perhaps not know until he speaks himself, but he's certainly taken the issue out of the hands of would-be naysayers and saying that he's withdrawing from parliamentary life.